So here we are. Everyone back, Sherry?
Yep, everyone is back.
Great. Well, we're 1 minute early, but I think we can probably get started. See some of our presenters here. And I'm sure other people will be joining us. So welcome everyone. I haven't said hello to all of you, so I'm really glad to see you. Thank you for being here on this beautiful sunny Sunday. And so we'll do the updates now. We have 45 minutes to do them. We have a good bunch, though several people have realized they're traveling and can't be on with us, so we'll see who can come. And then we'll start up again at 2 o'clock Boston time with the presentation. So let's get started. And I am going to ask Rebecca Slater, please, to give us an update about the Affinity group for vets.
Anne, very much. I've got some slides today, so let me pull them up to just kind of lead it. I think it's been a while since I've kind of put some notes on the board. So let me go ahead and remind myself how to share screen. A second. So my name is Rebecca Slater. I am the facilitator of the Veterans Connection and Engagement and Support Group. I started this group, kind of tried to kick it off earlier this year. Hold on a second, multitasking. All right, does that come up as the presentation?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I kicked off this group earlier this year. I work in defense and I'm an ambassador for Royal Hearts, and with all that BPRG does, I engaged Anne to see if there was an opportunity here. And so this group has really been about really setting the stage for what's possible. And the veteran community, it is a group that it's got some unique nature to it. And so there's, I think, some special areas we wanted to focus on regarding trust, knowledge sharing, and a trusted path. With PTSD and the trauma these warriors have, there's some special care that needs to be taken to get them to high quality care to accelerate their healing. And there's a lot of ways people change their mind to do that. It's everywhere from trusted stories from people they recognize and know and trust. It's some people need the science behind it. Some people just want to talk to somebody. And at the end of the day, it's really about getting folks, especially as legalization evolves. There are a lot of people today who go it on their own. And so, we, in our discussions, talk a lot about, well, how do we facilitate those who need to integrate with trusted people? And then also, how do we get them, those who are interested, to where they can go now? And as treatment emerges, what will that look like and where can we be of service? So our first goal this year is really engaging more veterans to be part of our, say, board or our review board, to say whatever comes from this group, it must be, vetted with them. And there's a phrase that's emerging is it's not about us without us. So we're reaching out and making contacts to vets within both BPRG and some outside organizations. Another theme that emerged recently is how may we serve those who serve. This is a group that's emerged, and it's a mixture of providers, entrepreneurs. And so we see two arms. We've got the veteran side. People come to us as who do I call? What can I do? But there's also those who provide services. Many of you probably work with veterans in your day-to-day or come into contact and treat them. And how can we help you? And then we're not necessarily building something new. We would like to complement existing efforts. So what I wanted to do is just take a few minutes, highlight a few of the groups that are out there today so that you know of them. And then you can, I'll have some links to share so you have them. These are trusted organizations. They're leading the way in this area. So the first group is Veterans Exploring Treatment Solutions. They're focused on veterans and their spouses. Those are the therapies that they're leading around. Their work is a lot around grants, coaching, and providing resources. They don't necessarily have retreats, but they guide those two places. They do have a free self-paced course. So if you have a veteran who or a family member who wants to know more, this is it's a pretty solid course. It distills the complex topics to something simple. There's take-home resources.
But can I just, I think you're trying to advance slides and they're not advancing on the screen.
Oh no, gosh, sorry.
No worries.
Thank you.
so much. Thank you for pointing that out. All right, now do you see that's in my pretty pie chart?
Now it's working perfectly, yeah.
There we go. There's my pretty pie chart. I worked all day on that. The first group I'd like to talk about of the three is vets. This is their work that they do, and really wanted to highlight they've got a great online course that's free that you can pass on. They're working with some of the experts leading in this field, so it's a great resource as somebody who might want to learn more about them. The second group I'll speak about is Heroic Hearts Project. I'm an ambassador with HHP. Their mission is around the community, and they're also finding safe passage where it is currently in other nations where it's legal. Their focus is on veterans with combat experience or issues related to sexual trauma. They've got ayahuasca retreats as well as psilocybin. Their goal is really around getting safe passage, and then also research, education, and advocacy. They're the reason I'm probably in this group and see the potential for veterans is a lot of Jesse Gould's work. He's been written up as a lot of them have, but that's how I think I came to the veterans effort as well. And they're also working with on a couple studies, and at Dell, I know Dell down at University of Texas, and with the Imperial College of London. So that is some of their work. And the mission within, they are the last group I'll highlight. Their really focus is on a retreat path. They have a treatment process, a 6-week process focused. It's open to veterans and their families, and that's a description of how they go through it. So the reason I wanted to do this was, again, we're not building something new. We are creating something. We want to amplify what's already happening out there. And so the goal today was just to share this with you so that if someone asks you, a veteran comes to you, what do I do today? What can I do? These are some resources. This Friday is Veterans Day. So you can pass these on if you need them, if it comes up. And really one of the goals is veteran suicide rate. How do we stop this? There's some resources here as well to suicide prevention and veteran crisis. I'll drop these links in the chat, and they'll also be included in the updates and some. Feel free, as always, contact me with any questions if you're interested in the group, or just have questions and need regarding the veterans topic. Please feel free to reach out.
Fabulous, Rebecca. Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome.
So much helpful information. Really appreciate it. I have an update from someone who thought she could be here, but she's on a train, and about another affinity group. So the palliative care affinity group has been dormant, but one of our members, Gali Shalit Lodish, has volunteered to resurrect it. And so this is what she sent for me to read. The palliative care affinity group is composed of practitioners interested in using psychedelic medicines for end-of-life care. Depending on interest level, we hope to meet on Zoom every 4 to 6 weeks or less frequently if necessary. We're hoping to share ideas of how to enter this new space and share learnings of data coming out of the current clinical trials. For more information to join, contact her at her email, which we'll have in the mailing. It's lodish@gmail.com, and put the subject header PCAG, or Palliative Care Affinity Group. So that's another affinity group. Elise Hoblitzel, if you're on, I'm not sure you are.
Oh, I'm actually filling in for her today.
Oh, thank you, Dan. Terrific.
Back from the dead.
Yeah, nice to see you, Dan.
Likewise. So I'm filling in for Elise for the Contemplative Practice and Psychedelics Affinity Group just for today. I just wanted to announce our event on November 20th. Let me double check the time. We are having Jogan Adams Salzberg, who was a former assistant abbot at Great Vow Zen Monastery, tons of experience in the Zen tradition. He left a handful of years ago to start a counseling practice where he does stuff like shadow work, dream work, psychedelic integration with his clients. He is wonderful, full of wisdom and like sort of nuanced insights on modern Buddhism and psychedelics. So please join us if you're interested. The time will be 5 p.m. Eastern, probably till around 6:30. And I'll put Elisa's email in the chat. She's managing the listserv right now, just in case anyone's interested, wants to learn more.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. How about Elizabeth Ames? Can you let us know what's going on with your Ukrainian group, please?
Sure, I'd be glad to. Thank you so much, Anne. Can everybody hear me? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. In Ukraine right now is dominated by what's going on with Russia really trying to take out civilian infrastructure. So it should make doing things impossible because there are rolling blackouts that make the equivalent of communicating between Harvard Square and Kendall Square impossible. But in the face of that, the Ukrainian Psychedelic Research Association, UPRA, has launched a website, which is www.upra.org.ua. And I'll put this in the notes. That's in Ukrainian and English. They have a blog that you can apply Google Translate to. There's a psychedelia podcast that they're putting out to start to introduce people in the movement. And they're continuing to work on advocacy for rescheduling MDMA, which is important, a critical piece to getting to tests. So more in the update I'll send around, but that's it for Ukraine. And thank you for remembering them.
Thank you, Elizabeth, and thank you for all the amazing work you're doing there.
Thanks to the Ukrainians, they're an inspiration.
Yes. So Franklin King, are you on to give us an update from the Mass General?
Yes.
Thank you,
Hi.
Franklin.
It's really dark. Had to get some sun. We've been in this hotel conference center for the last 48 hours with no windows and getting there, leaving when it's dark. So I need the vitamin D. Anyhow, yeah, so we had a total of 450 people. I think it was like 447 was the final tally. About 350-ish were in person and another 100 were online. And yeah, I think aside from one person who was triggered by bringing social and justice related issues into medical conversations and sent me an angry email, which is pretty stunning.
Wow.
Everyone else so far has given really positive feedback, and really great to have. I mean, the speakers were awesome. The presentations were great, and it was great to bring everybody together. So we're definitely going to do it again next year, and yeah, hopefully continue to grow this.
Great. Thank you, Franklin. It was incredible. I was only able to be there one day, but it was a great day. And I'm just so proud of what you've done to bring all those people together. A lot of young energy, which was really reassuring. It's fabulous. Young energy and young brilliance. So it was great. Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah. And is Eduardo with you?
Yeah, he's right over here, but he'll join in. But do you want to use the? You want me to just turn this over here?
Sure. So Eduardo is one of the presenters, and we were lucky enough to have him spend a few nights with us, so we got to know him. Visiting, he'll tell you who he is and the work that he's doing in this field. Welcome, Eduardo. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Welcome. Hello, everybody. My name is Eduardo Schemberg. I'm a Brazilian neuroscientist. I'm here at Franklin's house. I'm in Boston because of his kind invitation to come to the conference, and also super kind from Anne and Shepen to host me for a few days. I work with psychedelic research for some maybe 15 years now. I formally started in 2011 for my postdoc, but I'm studying the topic and involved with it for 10 years more, since 2000. And I'm currently director of Instituto Faneros, is a nonprofit in Brazil. And we are doing the first psychedelic assisted therapy research training in the country. We have 5 clinical trial protocols approved at the Ethical Review Board in Brazil. It's one with MDMA in collaboration with MAPS for 100 PTSD patients, and 4 different protocols using psilocybin for different conditions in collaboration with USONA Institute. And we're super excited. The training is a 2-year program. Briefly speaking, the first year is online training, meetings once a week, Thursday night. And also in the first year, they have, we do an in-person retreat, a 6-day in-person retreat, where we run 4 sessions of holotropic breathwork. So everybody does the breathing twice and acts as a sitter 2 times. And also in the same week, in a place full of nature, very beautiful, we have one ayahuasca ceremony led by an indigenous expert healer from the Brazilian Amazon, who is a dear friend and partner of mine for many years now. We currently have almost 50 students in the first cohort. They started in February this year, and they're almost closing the first year of training by the end of this month or early December. And then next year, they will start treating patients in pairs. And we are now selecting new candidates for the second cohort that we aim to get to up to 94 participants. So if all goes well, by January, we'll have almost 150 health professionals doing this training, participating in the research, and help scale up psychedelic therapy research and education in Brazil, which it's pretty exciting. It has been a lot of work, and we are almost entirely run by our own revenues. So we sell courses. We have small courses online, pre-recorded, that people can take whenever they want. But the main thing really is this psychedelic therapy training for the mental health practitioners, and they are now in 12 different cities in, I guess, 5 states in the country, mostly in the southeast. And for the next year, we hope we can get to 20 or more cities.
Oh, fabulous. Congratulations. That's exciting. That's great. And these trainees are all people who have degrees in professions, mental health professions.
Yeah. So almost everyone is either a physician or a licensed psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a few which are licensed as psychoanalysts. But almost everybody, I think 95%, has a degree in medicine or psychology. We do have some diversity. We still don't have Black people in the training. That's something that we want to get. We also want to see if we can attract and offer some discounts for indigenous psychologists. But for this first cohort, we have people from 25 years up to 71 years old. And almost half are men and half are women. And we have gender identification diversity as well within the group, which is super exciting and interesting as well. And also diverse in terms of stances or traditions inside psychology that they practice, right? So we have people from psychoanalysis, from Jungian, from CBT, from behavioral kinds of therapies, and everybody's learning a lot, and the exchanges of all these different ways of seeing psychedelic therapy and how best to deal with patients is very enriching for everybody.
That's fabulous. Thank you. No, it's great to hear international reports.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's a real pleasure to connect.
Thank you, Eduardo. Enjoy the rest of the day. It's beautiful.
Thanks.
Thanks, Ann.
Thank you, Franklin. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Next is Silvia Franco Corso, who's going to tell us about her research at Columbia.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep.
great. Hi, everyone. Yeah, you can hear me? You said yes?
Yes, we can
Okay,
hear you.
great.
Yes.
Great. Hi, everyone. You'll see two screens. One is my face, the one is it's connected to my Bluetooth on my hearing aid. So you'll probably see like a screen that says Sylvia. That's the one that is going to be big. Anyway, so hi, everyone. I'm Sylvia. I'm originally from Colombia, and right now I'm at Columbia University. I'm an addiction psychiatrist there, and I am working on a research project related to non-ordinary states of consciousness and how can they help people with addictions. So one of the projects that I'm working on is breath work for cannabis use disorder. I originally became familiar with breath work when I was getting my training to participate as a therapist in the NYU psilocybin trial. And they I don't know if you know Diana Medina, but they brought her from Colorado all the way to New York. And also the Johns Hopkins researchers came there. It went to New York, and we had this like holotropic breathwork session. And I've never heard about it before. I've never had an experience like that before, and it really was very meaningful and really profound experience. And anyway, so I was really impacted by that. And okay, so I continued doing my the research with psychedelics, and I realized as I gained more experience in the addiction field that some patients that I had would just not use mind-altering substances. And I consistently seeing in the research studies how the non-ordinary states of consciousness caused by psychedelics were sometimes mediating their therapeutic outcomes in depression, anxiety, death-related distress, addiction, etc. But that's when I said, oh, perhaps we can use we can use this breath work. And it's not, even though it's happening a lot and it's being studied, it's not getting the same attention as psychedelics or yoga or meditation. So I designed a 1 week workshop of what we're going to do, what we are doing. We're running the trial. It's called one breath work session in the context of a therapeutic platform for individuals with cannabis use disorders. So during 1 week, they receive sort of like an intensive therapy, and we use the breath work to enhance that therapy, like the breath work to sort of like a catalyzer for that therapy. And we're measuring the effect on their cannabis use, but also any subjective experiences that they may have during the breathwork session. So we have the emotional breakthrough inventory, the mystical experience questionnaire, and now we received some funding to add EEG during the breathing session, because there have been some studies that show some similarities in brain activation when people do meditation and when they do psychedelics, and also similarities across different psychedelics in terms of brain activation, and sometimes they correlate with the subjective experiences. So we're adding that to the protocol. It's been quite exciting project. The last thing I'm going to say here is that in addiction, we really focus on treating the addiction, right? Kind of like, what's your abstinence? What's your goal? Is it abstinence? Is it decrease your use? With breathwork or with psychedelics, it's addiction is just the tip of the iceberg. People can access so much more to that. What's under the iceberg, like the grief, loss of sense of community, trauma, and then people that have been doing the breathwork session with us, what they experience during the breathwork session, it has nothing to do with their addiction. It's usually related to their lives. So the part of the integration and processing of the experience is also like really important to be able to support them appropriately. So basically that's what I'm doing for research right now.
Great. Well, thank you, Sylvia. And we'll put more information and links when we send out the mailing in a couple of weeks. Terrific.
Sure.
I have another update from Columbia University. And again, travel plans got in the way. So this is a young researcher, Talia Cornelius, and this is the description of what she's doing. Researchers at Columbia University are seeking couples in which at least one person has used a psychedelic, e.g. mushrooms, LSD, ayahuasca, while in a romantic relationship. Participants are invited to share their experiences by completing an anonymous web-based research study. Couples are eligible to participate if 1, both members of the couple have used a psychedelic together, or 2, only one member of the couple used a psychedelic during the time they were in their romantic relationship. We're inviting individuals to participate if their relationship has since ended. We're inviting couples to participate together if they're still in their romantic relationship. One member of the couple must complete and submit the survey first before receiving a unique link to share the survey with their partner. If only one member of the couple took a psychedelic, they must complete the survey first. Volunteers must be 18 years of age or older. There's no compensation for research participation. And I'll get the link. I don't have it now, but we'll have that in our mailing in a couple of weeks. So next, could we hear please from Alex Cardena about APA that is really moving ahead? Thank you.
Great. Hi, Anna. Thank you for bringing me in today. It's great to see everyone. I'm a little envious of the blue skies I'm seeing over in the Northeast. It's been raining here in Oregon for several weeks straight. But yeah, I have a lot of announcements. I'm going to put a bunch of links in the chat here. So I'm going to change my view. The biggest news is we presented at Horizons a few weeks ago and formally launched membership. And I think we successfully got about 2/3 of the conference attendees to join. Our membership numbers are about 650 folks as of this morning. I'm super excited about that. And you can see in the links I posted, you're welcome to join. Membership is going to be free for the first 6 months because we're still building out the services. Excuse me. But the services we're providing right now are we're doing monthly town halls, monthly social events, and we're going to be sending out a number of surveys in preparation for the bigger kind of forum that we'll have for our members. Those surveys will allow us to do membership and mentor matching, supervision matching, build out different support groups and affinity groups. And we have 2 types of members. We have practitioner members. You can see on our website kind of a laundry list of potential backgrounds that would qualify someone to be a practitioner. We also have associate members because our community is full of folks who aren't practitioners but have skill sets that are adjacent that could be useful to have a shared community. Folks like designers and musicians and people who understand business operations, philanthropy, things like that, that could really support practitioners and vice versa. So we felt it was really important to kind of open up the community and the network to the broader ecosystem. We have a really important town hall coming up at the end of, or the beginning of December, which will be anticipating federal engagement. For those of you who've been keeping up with the news and seeing whisperings of a federal quote unquote federal task force. That's a really important moment for our community to come together to coordinate to the best of our ability so that we can present as much of a united front as possible as the federal agencies start to pay attention. We can take our cue from the ketamine space where disorganized advocacy has really been hampering efforts to get coverage. And so the more we can meet, Apple will be playing a role as a convener and providing some level of policy or agenda support for different groups of different interests in anticipation of the federal group coming together. So that's going to be a really important town hall, and I think it's December 1st. You can see it in our events page there. It is open to the public, although if it does fill up, we will kind of prioritize our members. And this is another update. You know, we've been part of our task is to build a big tent. Our members include everyone: ceremonialists, medical model, legalization model, but we do play a role in creating policies for the healthcare field. And so that's standards of care. David Esselman, I think, gave a great talk here a few months ago. We are working with Brain Futures, and the level of standards of care, given the level of evidence in the field, is something more akin to professional practice guidelines. So those are in development, and that's exciting to see. We'll be convening a lot of the training programs for standards of training in the new year. And that's another piece of the puzzle, which is standards of training can lead towards accreditation of training programs, which plays a major role in the healthcare ecosystem, not to mention certification. So those are underway. And we've been successful enough in fundraising to hire some staff. And so we have some wonderful folks coming on board, and we have 2 more positions that are open. One is for a project manager for community education. And another one is for an admin assistant. So you can see that in the links also there. And then we have some working groups that are either starting to form. One is for accountability. So we work with a certification board around, generally speaking, a certification board, the BPMT, as they call it, the Board of Psychedelic Medicine and Therapies, is responsible for investigating wrongdoing accusations, but APA will be playing a role in terms of providing the support for practitioners if there's found to be needed interventions. And so we're building an accountability working group and taking applications for that right now to flesh out what those interventions might look like. And then our ethics group, which is full at the moment, will have some openings in the new year. And so we're reopening applications for our ethics group, and they're hard at work putting together ethical guidelines for the field. So that's an exciting thing. And then last up, we've gotten some press recently. So it's kind of touching to see, all right, 5 or 6 news agencies picked up our membership launch. And it's kind of cool to see us in Forbes magazine. So lots going on with APA these days. And if you want to get in touch with me or just our team, I put our emails at the bottom. And I think I covered everything, but I can speak pretty quickly. So, I will say that we have some of our staff right now at Wonderland conference, and we'll be presenting at a number of conferences coming up in the new year, spreading the word. For me, it's been really wonderful to have it be part of my job to help helpers. And when we were at Horizons a few weeks ago, we put on a membership event where we had a variety of healing modalities, massage, sound bath, chakra balancing, pineal gland stimulation, compression leggings. So including healthy drinks and healthy food, we thought it would be fun to just support folks because conferences are hard and exhausting, and being a practitioner is hard. People hold a lot of space, and so it's just one of my passions to figure out ways to support people who are doing this work, and that's a big part of our task now. So to that end, one of our other events in December, and that will be monthly, will be social events. That's been the biggest thing that people have asked for, is a better sense of community. And we've engaged kind of a fun software platform, which looks, for those of you who remember, looks a lot like Zelda video game. You kind of walk around in a map that we've created, but it allows people to join conversations, leave conversations, mingle in a way that's a little different than Zoom. And so we've built out that map. It's going to be a fun way for folks to engage each other, and we'll see how it goes. But I would just invite everyone to, if you haven't already, sign up for our newsletter. and consider signing up for membership. It's free for 6 months. And the surveys we get from folks will have a big impact on how we prioritize membership services and our other priorities in the space. So it's a good opportunity to have an impact on all that we're doing.
Great. Thank you for that update, Alex. Lots going on. Congratulations for getting to this point. It's terrific. So now I would like to invite Sherry Race, who's coming on with two hats. We know her best here as the magician behind all of these meetings and really the person who makes BPRG run smoothly. And she also has another hat as a CEO of Enthea, which is a new company. She wants to tell us about that. So Sherry, we'd love to hear from you, please.
Thanks, Anne. One for BPRG. Some of you may have received an invite or signed up for Mighty Networks. This is the new platform we are piloting to have an online community. This makes it a lot easier to engage with each other, talk to each other, ask questions, see information about our meetings, see information about the video recordings, and just talk more in between meetings because 2 months is a long time and I think we miss each other. So with regards to Mighty Networks, some of you have been added, some of you request to be added. I will add everyone who's on the BPRG mailing list to Mighty Networks this week, and hopefully everyone will sign up or activate the invite. If anyone has any questions about it, they can email me and I'm happy to help or answer anything because, you know, it's fairly straightforward. And then we're going to try starting from March onwards, like transitioning off of email so that everything is on Mighty Networks. And I'll explain more about that in following meetings, but that's one side of things. And I hope you guys enjoy it. There's also an app for Mighty Networks. It makes it really easy to use. You can get notifications on your phone. If you're traveling and you want to meet a BPRG member in a new city, it'll be there. So yeah, so that's really exciting. And then for Enthea, some of you may have heard of Enthea before. It's a company that I helped, I'm one of the co-founders of, that provides insurance benefit plans to companies for psychedelic healthcare. So it's solving for the equity crisis in this ecosystem. We're solving the question of who will pay for psychedelic healthcare. We launched in January of this year with Dr. Bronner's. So Dr. Bronner's employees actually get ketamine-assisted therapy completely covered by their employer, which is really exciting. We then completely ran out of money and we're not able to sign up any more customers. We went into pause mode, but we kept Dr. Bronner's alive. And I am happy to report that we now have funding and are ready to expand. So we'll be expanding to 40 cities and working with 100 companies by the end of next year. We've already identified and are talking to and have signed agreements with 40 of those companies, which is really exciting, and talking to so many more. And so if anyone works for a company that wants to offer their employees ketamine-assisted therapy, please reach out to me. Or more importantly for this group, we need to bring providers into our network. So if there are any ketamine-assisted therapy providers here, also reach out to me so we can bring you a network. But mostly I wanted to share the exciting news because I really do believe this is the way to solve for who's going to pay for this. So yeah, I'm very excited about that.
Great. Congratulations, Sherry. Be fun to see where that goes. And thank you about the Mighty Networks. I think some of us have played with it a little bit. It's really, really user-friendly. So hopefully we'll all get on that and find each other. I want to give just a quick update on the CPTR course. For those of you who don't know, CPTR stands for the Center for Psychedelic Therapy and Research, and it's out of the California Institute of Integral Studies. They were the first training program for psychedelic therapists and researchers, started in 2016. I was lucky enough to be in that cohort along with Alex and probably a few other people here. We're a strong group of 40 out in the world now, in the psychedelic world. We've been expanding a lot, as many of you know, and many of you participated. We came to Boston last year and we graduated 120 people from the Boston cohort. This year, we have 3 cohorts. We have the Boston cohort with 100. We have a purely online cohort with 75, and then the San Francisco cohort with about 125. So we're graduating roughly 300, and that our last meeting will be in a couple of weeks, and then there's some work, but in March, those 300. We have shifted our calendar, and that's why I wanted to let people here know who are interested in the training, who haven't heard anything. We are going on to the academic year, so we will be starting next September 23, and applications won't open until February of 23. So if you're interested in the training to be a therapist or researcher, keep an eye out for that. Check the website. We'll give updates. If you know anyone else who's interested, certainly let them know. So, and then, oh, Sherry has something to say.
You know, because I wear many hats,
Yep.
I will add another CPTR update that is very fresh off the press. I helped CIS apply. It's very relevant for today's talk to the to the Oregon Health Authority to be the first university to offer facilitator training in Oregon for psilocybin in the new year. And just this week, the OHA approved CIS's application and is approved to provide facilitator training for psilocybin assisted therapy. So that's another CPTR update.
Yes, there's still a few more hoops, aren't there, before, but still, it's a major happening.
There's a few more hoops, yes. Yeah,
but that's great. Thank you, Sherry. So, and then one last update on the BPRG. I want to make very huge and special thanks to Mike Sinyard and his foundation called Project New Day. That group is working on figuring out how to use psychedelics to support people with addiction, to help them get off their the drugs they're addicted to. But they have generously given the BPRG $20,000 to help us do the next step planning of what we're going to do with this organization. I know we don't have a lot of people on today. I hope we'll have more for the talk. We do have a mailing list, though, of over 1,500. And so we think that there's a lot that we can do. So we're starting with Mighty Networks. And then the other thing we really want to do is we get requests all the time from people from other communities wanting to start their own PRG. So we're hoping with this funding that we'll have more staff and we can start supporting different communities at starting up their psychedelic research groups. If you're in a community that doesn't have a PRG, please let us know if you'd like help. I think we can still work together, and I'm thinking we'll have hybrid meetings with Boston and anyone else who wants to join us. But it will be exciting to try and figure out what we can do with this. So, wonderful updates. Thank you, everyone. I think it's time to take a little breather, come on back a little before 2, so that we can start promptly at 2 and hear from our wonderful speakers from Oregon. So thanks to everyone.